Hello, beautiful souls. I am going to be recording a channeled message today that came in last night from one of the Pleiadian members of the Earth Council. I'm outside, so I look a lot darker than I am, but I'm kind of in a shadow area without having to glare. And I wanted to be out here. Um, the birds are singing, and that's really important to today's message. So, um, let's get in with it. Her name is Amyrill, Amyrill, Pleiadian emissary on the Earth Council. She works with Mira. We work with Mira closely. Um, Mira channels a lot of messages to other channelers as well, so you may recognize that name. But Amaryl's function is really more with nature. And she is a very tall fairy. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but has her Pleiadian height. She has dirty blonde hair, very beautiful, extremely nurturing, and very strong. Internal strength is immense. She has on a flax colored dress and a very natural braided belt. Meropa is one of the Pleiadian sisters that is part of our family lineage. And she recommended that Amyrill contact me to give this message so that it can be put out to the collective. This is a message for the collective. I will start now with her channeled message. The time is now. There is no extra opportunity to wallow in despair or any other low vibration. The choice being made in every moment affects the trajectory of each being and ultimately the entire collective. Amyrill says, I witness many children being hurt, and it is not all due to soul contracts. This is due to beings choosing to stay in and allow low vibrational emotions, which in turn harms innocence because they themselves are drowning in the low vibration of pain, fear, shame, guilt, and blame. Amyrill has asked us to listen to the song of the birds. This is important no matter what climate you're in. Right now, it's very cold where I am, and but the sun is out and the birds are singing. And let's just say you're not in a position to hear birds sing. Maybe you're in the city. Um, you can go on YouTube and you can play tracks of birds singing and the sounds of nature. And that's where we're going with this. Listen to the bird songs. Connect to nature in as many ways as possible. Perform the conscious breath. That is, breathe in through your mouth for 4 seconds, hold for 8 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. I will demonstrate that now. May indeed see my breath exhale because it is cold. It feels good though. So do this in succession. The recommendation is at least 3 minutes. Work your way up incrementally, even if it's by 30 seconds more each time, while listening to the sounds of nature. Even when you're able to be out in nature, to perform that conscious breath will help a great deal and centering and grounding to the earth core energy, which that strongly helps to channel the energy through your chakra system instead of it being completely distorted all over the place. Deliberate time watching leaves move with the wind. Watch the squirrels play. Watch the birds as they interact with one another. Listen to the birds. Give gratitude for all that this pure beauty of love and source creation gives us every day. It will help to train you to be in the now moment. It helps you to get out of your head, so to speak, turn off the chaos. The goal of what used to be the controllers, the ones that still have the loudest microphones, are to keep you distorted and to keep you in a sense of chaos and fear and to keep you frazzled and to keep you from grounding, because that keeps you from recognizing the truth within your being. When you're not knowing which end is up, how are you going to find the truth? Well, it's going to become impossible to find it within yourself because of all the chaos. So that's when they come in, right? And they tell you what the truth is. And they tell you what you're going to do about it. Before you know it, you're entrenched in their narrative that does not serve you well. It makes everything worse. Deliberately centering and grounding yourself. The sounds of nature, when you're in nature or when you're in your apartment, when you're in your home, when you're in your room, when you're in your office space, and everyone around you seems to be completely entrenched in the narrative. Put an earbud in or play the background music of nature. You will be so much calmer and more peaceful in your being. It will do you a great service. There is pure and simple joy in these small things. Allow yourself to be in the now moment, to allow yourself to give thanks for the simple things that many of us are guilty of taking for granted. There are times where there's so much happening in my life that I literally am thankful that my eyes opened and I have sight. I'm thankful that when I close my eyes, I still have sight of my third eye. I'm thankful that my feet put my body in motion, that my legs hold my frame, that my back allows me to walk upright. There are many, many things that we take for granted as humans that we're going through the steps of saying thank you to the bird. Thank you to the sun. Thank you for warming my face. Thank you for showing me that aspect of the leaves that I had not noticed before because I had my head down looking at a screen. Look up, look up. Many times the answers to whatever you're facing is found when you pick your head up and you look beyond the horizon and you look up. Get off of the chaos, get off of the screens. I know that sounds contrite because I'm coming to you via YouTube. This is just a mechanism for the truth. Allow the healing energy that comes by way of being in nature, recognizing nature, being in the love space of heart space, of giving gratitude and forgiving yourself for not recognizing things sooner. And being in that moment heals. It heals yourself. It heals the land. It heals the trees that you're with. It heals the animals. They feel that vibration. The sole purpose for birds in our dimension are to teach us. They have nothing that we need to teach them. They lack for nothing. They have high vibes, high frequency, the ability to move and communicate and sing. They have joy, have bliss. They live in the now moment. They don't sit around pining away, worried about things. They are there to teach us. We have been oblivious. We think that animals are beneath us, when actually, when you are clear and you can ask the divine, most animals in our life are higher consciousness beings than we are. We're striving to get to that level. Let the beauty and the love and the frequency of nature, even if it's just the sounds, wash away the things that are pulling you down, the things that are making you feel like a heavy woolen blanket has been doused in water and laid on top of you. That's how I used to feel, and especially in certain areas. It felt so oppressive that I felt like I was struggling to take a breath. And I had to work through that. It doesn't go away without the effort to find your way through the mud and the muck. But when you do, you truly become the lotus flower that blooms 1,000 petals that are more beautiful than anything you could ever fathom. Nature is the key. Nature is pure as innocent children. Nature is love. Love is source, and that leads to healing. That concludes her overall message to us. The rest of this is going to be a chat. The rest of this is going to be what came to me once this message came through. The seasonal bird recordings that you can find will help elevate you. But you have to also come to it with the acceptance that this is going to help open up your chakras. This is going to help you to navigate your life in a way that maybe you have never considered before. So truly go into it with the belief and the want, the desire to let this be a very small but significant change in your day-to-day life. This could be a very easy go-to to help dismantle the chaos that tends to spin up around us. And we have a choice in that moment. Are we going to participate in this? Or are we going to ground and center? It's very hard for some people, especially those that have fairy lineage. This is a very real thing. And what you see is most of the time, those that are very anxious, they lack self-confidence, they seek approval before they even take a step in life. They apologize for asking questions when there's nothing wrong with asking a question. You know, that it shouldn't come with an apology. Um, these are the beings that have been tortured throughout their lifetimes, many, many, many lifetimes. And so they feel completely boxed in and do not have the confidence to step out into their own power. Those are the beings that have to take their power back the most and also struggle with grounding the most. They are the ones most affected by the chaos. It can be sounds of snow, if you like that. It can be sounds of the ocean. It can be sounds of the wind and rain, thunderstorms, whatever feeds your soul. You have at your fingertips, because of YouTube and other platforms, the ability to literally cue up the sound of nature that best soothes your soul. And I invite you to investigate that if you haven't done that already. This can be a life spring to those who are in situations that they have felt completely trapped, or they have felt like there's nothing that they can literally do to change their trajectory. And all of a sudden, oh, well, I have access to music. I have access to sounds of nature. I may not be able to walk outside in the forest. I may not be able to put my feet on the ground right now today, but I can do this. And this can get me through to that. The regular energy hygiene is something that's very important. You can't take it for granted. You can't become complacent with it. You can't believe at any point in time, oh, I had my energy clearing done. I'm good to go. Or I had a Reiki session done and that's all taken care of. I had my chakras opened, in 2006. I'm good. Now, this is a constant daily hygiene, as important as brushing your teeth and taking a shower. You want to make sure that you're clear and clean, unblocked, and undistorted. Why? Well, negative energy distortions do just that. They distort the energy flow that comes in, and energy is all things. So it distorts the message that comes through from your guides. It blocks them. It distorts the truth and manipulates it in a way that serves the negative distortion. Lots of times the negative distortions come from the AI that we depend on to do our job, or that we are habitually using in our life And so we have to clear and clean those devices. There are ways to go about doing things where you use your technology, but you don't become used by the technology. Okay, there's a balance in all things. That is the goal, the ultimate goal. Being fully grounded, feeling supported in your energetic core means that you're going to ground to the earth chakra, the heart chakra. You're going to pull that energy pillar up through your own heart chakra, and you want to connect it straight to source creator's chakra. And that gives you a divine pillar of clear source energy. And it gives you strength and clarity. If you don't know how to do that, please join us in Healing Disclosures on Telegram. Check out some of my other videos. I go through that, especially my older videos from last year and 2022, because that's how it all started for me. And you just have to start somewhere. It's never too late. There are always choices that we make in everyday life, especially now. Okay, so right now in this now moment, we have a divergence of timelines. Lower timeline is what's considered old Earth. Higher timeline is considered new Earth. There is a bit of a gray area in that high 4D place. And you got 3D old Earth, lower timeline. 5D new Earth, higher timeline. High 4D, low 5D people that are on that ascension path. They're working every day very, very hard to get there. Ascending is frequency. It's not a location. By changing your frequency on a consistent basis, that means every opportunity you have to not participate in old, non-serving, low vibrational ways, you're choosing the higher timeline. And that is a timeline jump. And we make them thousands of times a day. In choosing the higher timeline and choosing the higher course of action and choosing love, forgiveness, and gratitude, when prior, the lower timeline, it would look like judgment, shame, blame, guilt, fear. You choose the higher vibrational aspect. You jump to a higher timeline. Consistently doing this gives you a consistently higher vibration. By having a consistently higher frequency, that's how you physically change your environment. Beings transverse and transcend dimensions by the frequency. Higher frequency, higher consciousness beings exist in a frequency that lower consciousness beings cannot access. So you can be in a geographic location with higher consciousness beings and not know that they exist if you're on the lower end. Because though it's like being on it's like AM radio and FM radio. They do not communicate with one another. There's completely different frequencies. So you want to be consistent and you want to keep it in the forefront of your mind to catch yourself. Am I being judgmental? Let me stop that. Let me give this particular event love, forgiveness for all parties involved, and gratitude for showing me the lesson. Forgive yourself and move on. You will have to do this as a new normal for your day, especially while we still reside in this lower mixed dimensional reality. The more consistent you do, the higher frequency, the higher timeline choices, the less that you're going to even hear or recognize the lower frequency things, because it just falls out of your reality if you allow it. Now, there are those that are completely addicted to beings, places, and things in their life that are low frequency and emit low vibration. That's where your shadow work comes in. That's where you got to let stuff go. That's where you got to realize it's a part of your past, not a part of your future. And nobody can do that for you. You have to do that on your own. That's taking inventory of your life. What no longer serves me? The truth is, we are no longer the person we were yesterday. You're definitely not the person you were 6 months ago or even a year ago. For me, one 24-hour period of time feels like a week. So much happens in 24 hours of my existence because my time moves a lot faster. On a higher frequency, time moves faster. Time is linear in the third dimension, and you live in a duality state where it is light versus dark. Good versus bad. Everything's about a competition. Who's going to get ahead? That's not the goal of higher consciousness beings. It's not the goal of ascension. Ascension means is that you let that ego trip go. There is no competition. We want for everyone what we want for ourselves. There is no hunting of animals. Animals coexist together. Animals don't hunt each other. There is nothing but love and unity and bliss. And there's a natural ebb and flow to life, but life in itself is much more loving and calm and blissful and peaceful without the duality. Duality stays in lower dimensions. There is no place for it. It does not exist in higher dimensions. What is considered higher dimension? Fifth dimension, sixth dimension, seventh dimension. Beyond that, we don't have form. So if you're really serious about ascending and you're really serious about grounding and you're really serious about how you take your power back in your day-to-day life, what's the secret? Right now, today, the recommendation from our Pleiadian allies and friends that are working with us on the Earth Council for the Ascension is to remember to listen to the birds sing. Put yourself back in nature. Become as one with it as you can, and understand that we are all meant to live in harmony, in bliss and love, forgiveness and gratitude with one another. There is no wrong place to be if you're trying your very best to let go of what no longer serves you and adapt what makes you feel calm and peaceful and centered and grounded. And if you can't, get out in nature, or even if you can, listen to the sounds of nature that soothes your soul, because it calls you back to remember who you were before you decided to incarnate on this planet. And it leads you right back home. Thank you for joining me today on Healing Disclosures, and I'll talk to you again next time.